Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Elite Cast here on the 5 Star Network. I am one of your hosts, Scott Edwards, and with me is the one and only 6 Star back after a 1 week hiatus. That was my fault. It wasn't 6 Star's fault. It was absolutely my fault. But I'm very happy to have my partner in crime back here for what was a very emotional episode of Dynamite. But since 6 Star wasn't here last week, a lot happened last week. Obviously, not just on AEW Dynamite, but outside of Dynamite. And I want to make sure everyone knows this isn't a Dynamite only show, but we're not talking about Rampage if it's not worth a damn. This coming week will be worth a damn. Last week was not. I couldn't tell you what even happened. But 6 Star, welcome back.
I'm happy to be here. Happy belated birthday to you, Scott.
Thank you.
It's nice to be back. I'm back here in my college dorm room, so that's how
Love that.
the All Elite Cast is going to go from here on out. But yeah, there was a lot that went on last week. I think first and foremost, I'd like to just talk a little bit about Jay Briscoe.
Yes, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. You said a lot of really good things last week, so I won't go too long, and we'll have more to talk about with the main event of Dynamite. But the passing of Jay Briscoe was hard. It was a tough loss, not just for the wrestling world, but for daughters, for wives, for brothers, for parents. It was something that I have been really struggling to grapple with this last week. Jay and Mark Briscoe were one of the first acts I ever saw of Ring of Honor, like a lot of other people. Specifically, I watched the Briscoes versus the Second City Saints, the CM Punk and Colt Cabana from 2000 something, a long time ago, because I was a really big fan of CM Punk as a kid. And that match, I really liked them, and I'd watch some of their other stuff occasionally, and they're what brought me into Ring of Honor, really. When I was 11 years old in 6th grade, back in 2015, was a Young Bucks and Briscoes match, I think it was, and they're what really brought me into watching Ring of Honor like full time or being committed as I have. The Briscoes have shaped in a very important part of my wrestling fandom, and it's with a heavy heart that Jay Briscoe's passed. That I have to say that Jay Briscoe's passed, and that I won't be able to see him anymore. It's something that I still can't really fathom. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm still looking forward to the next Briscoe's match, but I know that won't happen. But I have so much love for him and for his brother, and for all they've done in the wrestling world, and the growth that they've gone through, and the maturity that they've gone through over the years. I just thank you to Jay Briscoe for everything you did for me in my wrestling fandom, and thank you to the Briscoes for being one of the best, if not the best, tag team of all time. And the legacy is Jay Briscoe's legacy will always be secured, and I wish the best to his family and his loved ones.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think your words resonate with many. When it comes to Jay, this past week, I think I've listened to as many tributes as I can, just because, like, I think hearing the stories and how he impacted so many people's fandoms, for like me, he made me appreciate tag team wrestling. That's something that, honestly, if you grew up a WWE fan, you may not have done, is appreciate tag team wrestling to that extent. Sure, as someone that's seen the New Day and even the Usos to an extent, here and there, hit or miss, it's still like it's that. But when you watch the Briscoes, that is tag team wrestling at its greatest. And you heard me try to put words together a day after his passing, not even. last week, and I couldn't even begin to tell you what I said, but what I will say is that not only will his legacy live on through his family, um, but after what we saw tonight, that legacy will live on in the ring through his brother. And we'll get to that, but I'm just happy that we get to pay respect to this man the correct way, right? We don't have to wait for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view in 2 months to do so. We got to start that tonight. We know there's a tribute show coming out. We know that Super Card of Honor is going to be a tribute show in itself. We know that the tributes to Jay Briscoe, they're never ending, and I guess that's the one good thing about this is that he's never going to be forgotten. And like you said, one of the best tag teams of all time, top 5, dead or alive.
It's not a gimmick.
It's not
It's
a
the
gimmick.
reality.
But we'll get to the show now. Here, we'll try to lighten up the spirits a little bit before we get a little sad again later on. But of course, AEW Dynamite. Oh, actually, before we go, you want to talk a little bit about last week's episode before I continue on? There was this match between Brian Danielson and Bandito that I'm sure you were a big fan of.
Oh my! Am I allowed to swear on this podcast? Yes, I am. Right?
Yeah, you are. It's
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
our
Oh,
podcast.
that's so beast. Oh my fucking god! That match was amazing.
Yeah.
Listen. That was one of the first matches I wanted when Bandito was signed. That was one of the matches I wanted for a long time because as someone who follows Lucha Libre, was a big fan of AAA at some point, and has seen Bandito even like some of the stuff he's done in his like own promotion, just like a little bit here and there.
Big Lucha.
Yeah, he's insane. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Bandito is like, I 100% believe he's the best luchador on the planet today. I think he's like the full package. He's everything you want out of a luchador, and he has this ability to connect with the crowd. Yeah. And it's the same thing we see with Takeshita, and it's something that we see again a lot from these AEW. There's wrestlers that really connect with the AEW audience without having to present themselves or do anything crazy or do any promos or have any angles. They just get to go out there and be good wrestlers and be passionate about wrestling. And Bandito is passionate about wrestling, and he's so happy to be in AEW. And oh my god, that spot where he was like seated and he had him in a hold, and then Danielson comes up and starts hitting him, headbutting him. What? There, and obviously, like, you got a crowd. Like, listen, Brian Danielson is one of the greatest baby faces of all time. Like, even to this day, like way past the era of the Yes Movement, he's one of the biggest baby faces of all time, and it still shows now. And he got the crowd to boo Danielson.
That was 2 weeks in a row that Takeshita and Bandito did that.
Yeah. And I'd like to say that Takeshita also got the crowd to boo Moxley before. That's true. But in both of their matches. So
what you're saying is let Bandito cook against Moxley. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. But yeah, that match was awesome. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about it too much longer, but it's like, oh god, I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, a lot of what happened last week we'll actually be able to get into as this show went on, because there was a lot of follow-up, which is good, right? Because that's what we want to see with these shows. But yeah, that match was tremendous. Like you said, sorry for cutting in there.
No, you're fine. And another thing, Darby Kushida was really good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they did the spot from the Kushida Kyle O'Reilly match.
They did, which is, I think that's my favorite Kushida match.
Same.
So good to see that there. But let's kick it now to this week. I think this show, going into it before they added what it was the main event, it was a good show on paper. Obviously, nothing super jumping off the page, but there was potential here. I will say that this show needed the main event. It needed the main event to go from a pretty good show to good, nearly great, if not very good. Yeah, very good show. But let's get into it. Of course, today was Jay Briscoe's 39th birthday.
Mhm.
So paid respect to him, rightfully there, as you'd hope. But the show started off with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks in Action Andretti, and this is probably going to be a hot take already, but I'm not feeling Action Andretti like everyone else's.
Hmm.
And I think that's a hot take, obviously for many reasons, because I know a lot of people are into him. But I think I started to say this last week, and I'll follow through here. I do think he's missing that factor of I need to see him on TV every week when we have the likes of Swerve not on TV, and I always will bring up Swerve in these conversations for that reason.
Mhm.
We have the likes of Takeshita, for example, Bandito, for example. I just think that this feels. I understand you're trying to get a guy over, but to me, the Ricky Starks and Andretti pairing just doesn't connect with me. So I almost don't care about this feud. And this is the game I also play with Jericho feuds nowadays. It's like you need to do something great to keep me locked in. And I am not. I haven't felt this feud since that first match. Like that first match was obviously great when Andretti got the win, but I fell off since. I thought the Ricky Starks Jericho match was fine, but I'm just. I want more. I guess.
Yeah, I think I get where you're coming from. I also agree with that like last portion in terms of like Jericho feuds.
Yeah.
Um,
Andretti's very talented, by the way. He's going to be
oh
a
yeah,
star.
he's easy.
He to me is he's in that like where when Garcia signed and Lee Moriarty signed, he feels like he should
Hmm.
be right
Hmm.
there
Yeah,
in that spot rather than a feature feud right now.
yeah, I would agree with you. I was more that's kind of like where I was going to. I did really, I mean, like that surprise win over Jericho in a really good match. Like it wasn't just a surprise win. Like that
Sure.
entire match was really good showing for him, and Jericho's been on a roll all of like since 2022. But yeah, this feud is kind of boring. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm particularly like super invested in it. I mean, I like Ricky Starks. I like seeing Ricky Starks on my TV. Um, but
Who doesn't?
that's what I'm saying. Um, he's great. But like it's not. I'm okay with them together, I guess. Like, but I'm not super hot on it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I think that it's just kind of it's a stepping stone for what is going to be Jericho Ricky Starks Revolution, and I
Yeah.
don't know where they're going to go with that. But I will. I'll let TK cook on this part. On this part.
Let TK cook. You know, that's a good point. That's a good point. We'll wait and see. It's just it's not grasping me like I wanted to. But again, that's Jericho Appreciation Society / Inner Circle thing more than anything else. Daniel Garcia is the guy I want to see in the ring. I don't,
Hmm.
like that's
I
the
agree.
guy, and he should be the one not in that group anymore and feuding with
Yeah.
them, not Action Andretti. But whatever, we move on. I thought it was a good enough opener, it was a hot opener, so
Oh yeah.
that was right. And I thought the right team won, the right guy got pinned.
Yeah.
Excalibur got on the mic and started to talk about the main event a little bit. And that's when they aired a tribute video to Jay Briscoe, the tribute video that I think we were all hoping for last week. But stupid Warner Brothers Discovery took too long for that to happen. They didn't change their mind within a day, which they should have. Because those pieces of shit are the ones running Slap League, but
Hmm.
nonetheless. I'm not going to talk about Slap League on this show. I've already talked about it too much. Um, but we got the tribute video this week, and to me, as long as we got it, that's good enough for me at this point. And it was a beautiful video. It was it captured the entire being that was Jay Briscoe, right? It captured his life so perfectly. Um, you know, you don't need to be a wrestling fan to watch that video and understand what this guy's impact was on people, right? You don't need that. You can you if you were a father or a family person, or just someone that appreciates family, even, you get it. You don't need to be a wrestling fan to that. And I thought, bravo to the team at AEW, the team at Ring of Honor, uh, Tony Khan, of course, he's the one running this, for putting together such an amazing video and sharing it with all of us, because it's as good a tribute video to someone who, God rest his soul, passed far too soon.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. It was beautiful. It did in fact make me really emotional, and I teared up a little bit, and I'm welling up talking about it again. But like, it was perfect. I think it encapsulated so much of what Jay Briscoe was as a wrestler, and what Jay Briscoe was to Ring of Honor, both as undeniably the greatest tag team to ever step foot in ROH, to ever hold the ROH tag belts.
No doubt.
And one of their best world champions and singles competitors as well. It really it caught everything in such a perfect way that it more than anything else, it felt like Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, I think I'm just happy it aired. Like, when I turned the show on tonight, I was like, I don't know what they're gonna show, what they're allowed to show. And when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm happy. I'm happy, but I'm not happy. I'm happy that it's airing. I'm very upset that it took until he passed away for this to happen. Jay Briscoe should have been on our television screens a year ago. He shouldn't, this is the guy, and I went into it last week, but I'll go into it again here. This is a guy that understood his faults, understood his mistakes, and he did everything in his power to not only grow as a person, but show that growth and apologize time and time again. And that's why, we all love and appreciate him. It's not even just the wrestling, it's that he knew he messed up, and that that means more to me than a lot of things, because you'll see people that are on this network not do something like this, right? And they get to stay on the network, their shows get to stay on the network, but Jay Briscoe wasn't allowed on this network. And there's something right about them being the greatest tag team to never be on major television, in America, because they are the greatest tag team to ever do it. And truthfully, I said this to someone this past week. I was around when Sting was like, he was the guy, the greatest star to never be in WWE. Well, he went to WWE. Jay Briscoe is the greatest star, at least here in America, to never go to WWE, never go to AEW, never touch the major shows. He's the greatest wrestler to ever do that, and it's not even a question for me anymore. But we're gonna talk a little more Briscoes later on. So let's move forward to the psychotic Darby Allin versus Buddy Matthews, and what I thought was the second best match of the night. I thought, man, this Darby Allin kid he is going out of his mind to not only make the TNT Championship great again, and I thought Samoa Joe did a great job with it, right? I thought Samoa Joe made it better and got it to that point of prestige, but Darby's capturing the fighting champion to a T. He's going out there and getting his ass beat every single week. He's traveling to Japan in the middle of this, right? And I love that they showed the Noah footage. That was big pop.
That was awesome.
I was like, awesome. That's my boy. That's Muda. Let's go. And it's Sting, obviously. We love Sting. Anytime we get to see, and lots of Noah footage tonight. But I was very happy to see Darby get this match, and this was Buddy Matthews' best match by a large margin since he's left 100%. WWE. I'm not counting matches that were House of Black matches. I'm counting
the singles matches.
Singles matches. This was by far, and let's just remind you, everyone, because I reminded myself this tonight. Buddy Matthews had a match with Kazuchika Okada. So
one of the most forgettable Okada matches of all time.
A great, and this match was great because of Darby Allin. Darby Allin took a beating in this match, but he survived and survived and survived. And I think that's why this match was so great. Um, for me, it's just like, it's just the edge below like that top tier level that I kind of that we've seen a lot from the AEW shows this past couple weeks, right? With like these amazing 4.5 star four, like I think it's below that obviously, but it was still a great title match, another great title match for Darby.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Darby he's firing on all cylinders. You know, say what you want about that man, but he can wrestle. Now you just
Yeah.
okay, and he puts his body into it. Like he's been very open in interviews in the past. So like he doesn't plan on doing this for like his whole life, right? He wants to do this as long as he can sustain what he like the style he wants to do. And you see that every time he goes out and wrestles. Holy shit. I can't just I mean, first of all, I mean Darby versus a big guy is always a
Yeah.
great formula. One of my favorite matches from last year was Darby and Brody King. Holy shit, those matches were great. But yeah, I agree. It was a lot of Darby doing the heavy lifting in terms of making that match great. I mean, and there was the angle with the House of Black, like Brody King and Malachi Black came out, and then Ortiz came in and made the save, which is, that's fun. That's nice. I don't really watch Rampage live, and I kind of skip through Rampage when I do watch it. But I have been paying attention to Eddie Kingston because I love Eddie Kingston. Please put him back on Dynamite.
TV and a match.
Lord, please, a singles match. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's probably what I'm thinking is maybe, just maybe, is like, I should probably talk more about Buddy Matthews. I'll do that in a second. But I think they might be building to like a Malachi Black, Darby, Eddie Kingston match at Revolution. I mean, I personally want it. I personally want it.
Cook.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be a great one. I was thinking that too.
No, yeah. No, we'll see if great minds think alike. But back to the match itself, Buddy Matthews did a good job. He did the power bomb into the corner into a curb stomp, which is like a Seth Rollins signature.
Yeah, he's literally just Omega and Seth Rollins into one,
yeah.
but he's the light version of both of them.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's just more or less what he is, but yeah, he's a perfectly fine wrestler.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he could do a lot more. Like he's shown, like flares and glimpses of being able to be a good wrestler, like someone like he. But I don't know. In the trios matches, he's fucking amazing. But I don't know but singles just hasn't been clicking for him since leaving the Fed.
But Buddy Matthews, Buddy Murphy, whatever you want to call him, is the type of guy that excels more in WWE because of his style than AEW. It's because you don't have the Kenny Omegas of the world. You don't have the Danielsons or Takeshita's or, like guys that are just obviously better than him as pro wrestlers, and allows him to, when he's hitting all these big moves, it feels different when he's in WWE as opposed to AEW. It's why like that match that he had with Roman Reigns once upon a time on a random SmackDown was like really good. It's because you were like, oh, all right, this guy's got something. But now it's like, okay, well, dude, you have to like bring extra to the table. And I agree, he's good in trios matches, he's good in tag matches, and maybe that's where his spot really is. He's probably not a singles guy here in this company, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to be a singles guy. Not everyone needs to be a champion. And that's why he's, standing behind Malachi Black in this group, not standing in front of him. So,
and to add a little bit to that part you said, like you said, not everyone needs to be a single star. Not everyone needs to be a champion. And most importantly, not everyone gets to be a champion.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this.
Swerve should be, though.
I agree. I fully agree with that. Representing Washington State. I swear. Let's go, baby. Pacific Northwest. West Coast, Best Coast. But yeah, that's what makes the titles, when they're being treated properly, as prestigious as they are, it's because not everyone can win them.
Yeah. Though Sammy Guevara won the title like 3 times, so I think
Oh
maybe
yeah,
anyone can win.
yeah. That's why I said when they're booked properly.
Yeah. That
But
belt really
granted, what
suffered for a while there.
well, yeah. I don't want to think about 2022 TNT title right now.
But the most important part of all this was that the king of television returned to television. Samoa Joe pops up on the big screen, cuts a great promo saying, something about him pretty much wanting to get that title back. He's coming back to take back what is his. And we have that match official for next week. Darby, Joe 3. I believe it's no holds barred.
No holds barred with a moving graphic.
Gonna punch Wardlow in the face when he ruins it. Also, by the way, don't care about Wardlow anymore.
Yeah.
couldn't have less interest from me if he tried. There is a bug bothering the crap out of me, so I apologize. But I know you're going to take over here. We had another video for the one and only Adam Cole and his road to recovery. So they're kind of doing the same thing that WWE did with Cody Rhodes heading into the Royal Rumble. And this is clearly Adam Cole heading into Revolution, which is
Adam
awesome.
Cole's better than Cody Rhodes.
All right, I like both of them, so it's fine. I love both of them, and both of them are like very much guys that people either love or hate, and mostly it's hate for no good reason on Adam Cole, by the way. But that's nonetheless. Like I understand why people are bothered by Cody from his time in AEW and leaving AEW, but I never will understand the Adam Cole hate. This guy never did anything. He's a nice guy. He's a good wrestler, obviously, but this is a great video. This guy is going to be a huge baby face, or he's going to swerve us and break all our hearts. Either way, I'm just hoping to give him someone great to face at Revolution.
Yeah, I 100% am so happy. Adam Cole, baby. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, he looked great in that. Like, he looked so good. He was a beautiful, beautiful man. But
great lucky gal.
Oh yeah. Much like his promo in LA, and much like I think there was some, I can't remember too much from last week's in terms of segments, but I think there was like a segments where like they kind of like let him talk for a bit. They're very much building to him like on this road to recovery, but also on this idea of like, without wrestling, without AEW, I felt empty, and now I'm back, and I'm not only filled with love and ambition, I'm filled with passion, but he's filled with vigor. He's ready to take on whatever challenge. And Revolution being right around the corner, I think it's Revolution also being important for Adam Cole's AEW journey, because he lost to Adam Page there for the first time in a great match. But so on one hand, I think it's in a way a little bit of like I don't want to say symbolic, but like it's an important thing for Adam Cole to go from one of his bottom moments in AEW, losing in a world title match, to essentially probably winning his match at Revolution. I couldn't be happier. Adam Cole's awesome. And the entire way that segment was framed and shot and edited and presented really, really, really brings me back to, not brings me back, really makes me feel like, especially with everything that's been happening, it's like the way that they've been slowly rebuilding and cultivating elite lore on television. I don't think he's going to have a major program with the elite right off the bat, but I think that is where they'll be heading. Eventually 100%. But I think they'll be heading there in 2023. And I need Adam Cole to hold singles gold in 2023. Is another thing I need.
So I was thinking about this, once the episode ended, I was like, where is Kenny? Why is he not on my television? I understand they're probably letting him like rest or something, because he had a million huge matches back to back to back to back. But when we are a month out from Revolution, I'd like you to start building up a pay-per-view title match with those trios belts, please. So because I was thinking, well, is Kenny gonna be Cole's opponent? And I said no, because they have titles that they need to defend. So we'll wait and see. But I hope hope we get that cooking soon as well. But happy to see Adam Cole back as always. Let's get to what I thought was the weakest part of the show. Not really anyone's fault. Well, it is. It's Ethan Page's fault.
Yeah,
But Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Hook defeated Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. I thought the match was fine. Kind of
it was fine.
nothing bad about it. Nothing great about it. Love Jungle Hook. But I don't care about the firm. I don't care about Matt Hardy. Never thought I'd say that. Actually, yeah, I would. Matt Hardy solo is brutal.
Yeah. So, like, real quickly on that, like Matt Hardy solo, all he is a pop to the Hardy Boys theme.
Yep, he sure was.
Outside of that, there's not much.
This and then the family thing back to back really was like such a dead point in the show. But yeah, I didn't have many feelings about this match.
Yeah, I'm more or less in the same boat. I love seeing Jungle Hook again. I think.
Well, yeah, you know those ratings spiked.
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, they had two very beautiful men who are also very good at wrestling.
Following Adam Cole, are we kidding?
It's they're just throwing all the handsome people
TK
on my
knows what
screen.
he's doing. TK doing what he's doing.
TK,
Like, all right, we're spiking the rating right now.
yeah, because if I had a dead drop, if people, it's gonna get a dead drop from people who don't care for Jungle Hook, and even more for people who don't like.
It was the ultimate test, right? Because it's like, all right, we're gonna give you Jungle Hook, but you also have to see Ethan Page and Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
damn, this is a real test, and I can't wait to see what the ratings tell us.
But yeah, Jungle Hook is great. I said it in LA, during our LA podcast show, LA show podcast, that Jungle Hook just has a really natural chemistry. They just feel like a really good tag team, and I keep saying, like, I keep, there's so many tag teams I like, oh, they should be the next AEW tag champs. They should be. I genuinely think if you want to, you could build them to do it. Now, I also understand we probably don't want to make Jungle Boy just the guy who keeps getting in tag teams winning the tag titles. That might not be the best way to book him, but I really like Jungle Hook. And even if they don't continue to be an actual tag team, I think both of them will have really, I think 2023 will be a good year for both of them. And Jungle Boy versus Hook FTW title at Revolution, please. That's the one thing. I need competitive Hook matches in 2023. Like, I need genuine competitive 15 to 20 minute competitive matches out of Hook. I know, because he could definitely.
That's the next step.
Yeah, like, I mean, he has the look. He has a great style, both in ring and presentation. He's still over after all this time. There was like a dead point, like a little less over than he was now, but like he's kind of been slowly getting it back. And I don't know. I think it's time to put him on the main card of your pay-per-view. It's time to give him a proper match against a proper AEW star, and he should win. I think he keeps the FTW title for forever. I say he's the last champion. I say that
it would make sense.
My theory is he'll challenge like the TNT title and merge them and just become the TNT champion. But that's just me loving Hook. I am in fact a hooker.
Family therapy time. This I legitimately don't care at all about this. It was the Guns being sad that their dad wasn't home during the Attitude Era. It was the Acclaimed really not saying anything at all. The Guns made some good points about how it was actually the Acclaim that started making fun of them, not the other way around. And this is all building to a eventual title match that I don't want to see. So there you go. That's it. I have no thoughts other than I don't care.
Yeah, I can't say I particularly cared too much for this segment either. I mean, I've been warming up. The Guns have been, I've kind of been warming up to the Guns a little bit. I've found some of their segments over the last few weeks comedic. I thought the stuff with FDR was pretty funny. But I don't I get why they're doing the Acclaimed versus the Guns. Makes storyline sense or whatever, but it's like you said, it's not a match that I'm particularly excited to see because the Guns aren't really a tag team that I care to see on pay-per-view, which is what I'm assuming they're going to be on.
Oh, it's just such a bad pay-per-view match.
It
It's so
really
bad.
is. It's a 15-minute TV match, is what it should be at
Yeah.
most. But it's
Yeah,
going to
and
be. Let me continue.
I don't know what Revolution's gonna look like. I know there's gonna be an hour-long match on there. But like Jamie doesn't have something lined up, that's clear. The tag team champions have the guns going against them. Darby obviously isn't set yet because he's doing a lot of other things, but I'm sure his match will be pretty good. Um, Orange Cassidy's nowhere to be found with that title, taking over that title. We're starting to get back to my one issue. My one issue with this company is building towards a pay per view with these titles. They never ever just do more than a month build. Because he's trying to put on great television. Unless it's like one of the world titles. I'll say the world title or women's title once in a while. But that is a main problem going into this pay per view is that we do feel like we only have one match with everything else like either not all that great. Like I'll give him credit, he's building the tag title match ahead of time, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's one I want to see at all on pay per view. It's a Rampage match. It's not even Dynamite.
It's a Rampage match, or 100% it's a Rampage match.
But I will say, oh wait, did you need more to say about this?
No, you can go.
All right, I was gonna move on to some good stuff again. Finally, so Hangman Page was backstage and he was talking about how he wants to beat John Moxley in Ohio. And where are they next week? They're in Dayton, Ohio. So lucky us, we will be getting Hangman Page versus John Moxley 3 next week. And Wheeler Yuta said he accepts, even though he's not here. And I'll have a match with you this Friday. So big Wheeler Utes versus Hangman Page match to look forward to on Friday. Rampage. We will be talking about that next week. But the big part here is Page, Mox, 3. And I'm already going to say it. I'm going to go bold here. Call him draw. Some sort of draw.
That's what I was going to say. I had the same
Because we
idea.
got to get the pay-per-view. I think
We
build to a big... Was it you that said lights out? You think lights
Yeah,
out for them?
I said lights out match.
That should be the feud ender.
I think my one thing now is like, because of the way that Hangman framed it today, is like we're 1-1 with an unsanctioned lights out death match. It doesn't count in terms of like quote. So I don't know if that would stop them. I think a death match in general would be really good.
Imagine Texas death match they might do because that's the Hangman special.
This is true, but yeah,
I'd prefer that actually.
Another thing. This version of Hangman is the best version of Hangman. He is fucking awesome. This right here, this is your ace. Like this is your your ace that will carry AEW after Mox is like no longer able. Is like the tape is all worn off because Mox is holding it down now. Like this is your guy. This is cowboy shit. And I loved his title reign. I know some people are like, oh, it was disappointing and this and that. Yeah, sure, there could have been more, but I thought it was great. I think but this is the guy. This is the world. This is like your Okada 700 plus day reign ace right here. Like the guy who is going to win, wants to win, and 100% will win because he just has it. He has the charisma and he has the look. And oh my God, the way he uses his eyes in like his matches and his promos, and he's so amazing. Hangman Adam Page, so much love for you. Oh my God. But yeah, Hangman Mox 3 is gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
3 matches next week. 2 third matches and trilogies next week should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that. Next up, Bryan Danielson defeated Brian Cage in what was easily the weakest of the Bryan Danielson series so far. I thought the match was pretty good. The ending was great. I thought the closing was great for sure. But I will say my one problem forever with Brian Cage matches is that this guy taunts way too much, and
Taunts a lot.
it just never stops. And I'm like, dude, just wrestle. Like, I understand you're a heel, I get it. People taunt, but it feels like he just goes extra. And it does take me out of the match sometimes. I did think that, Danielson took one hell of a beating. I think they worked a good story here of taking out that arm, which was, told to us last week of that's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the post match beatdown was good. Um, I did question if Blackpool Combat Club
Oh yeah,
existed
I was
anymore.
about to get into that.
I was like, all right, cool. Guess that doesn't matter. But what I did love overall was I thought everything about that closing, the post match segment was great, especially with Takeshita running out. The match
Mm-hmm.
itself, third best match on Dynamite, which is like whatever, you know. When we have like unbelievable Dynamites like we did 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, it's like, whatever. We gotta accept these L's once in a while. It's not an L. It's just with what Daniels has done the past 2 weeks, it's a little upsetting.
Yeah, I had some pretty high hopes for this match because I think Brian Cage is a good wrestler who's in a fine position where he can just have a good match with someone and take a loss.
I never get my hopes up too high with him.
Yeah, that's fair. I should have known better. But I guess I haven't learned from my mistakes yet. Um, like I said, I really enjoyed like that last ending stretch. That was great. Oh my god. I mean, every time, and the way that Danielson sells offense is always, oh, I get so invested in the matches, even if they're not the best, because I'm like, Danielson's so good. He's just so good at this. He did that. One of my favorite spots is he got him into he was trying to get him into, I think it was trying to get him into the bell lock, and then Cage like struck out of it, and then he hit him with like the leg elevated suplex. And I was like, oh god, Danielson, why? Like, you're so good at this, and it makes no sense. He's so good. And then like that last stretch, great. The headbutt spot, tremendous. Um, the I love a good term corner power bomb. And Danielson won, like he should have. I don't think he needed a roll up win.
I guess the idea is to play that Brian Cage is fresh. Danielson's had 2 back-to-back killer matches. I guess that's kind of what they're playing to and kind of keep Cage strong in a way, but I agree with you. We didn't need that. I didn't need him to like make Cage pass out because obviously these matches should be adding up and it should be a little more difficult, but I didn't need the roll up either. So I'm right there with you. Post match, again, I thought it was good. I thought it was the first time that MJF and Danielson brought the energy that I've been hoping for out of this feud, which is, good to see. Destroying the arm makes so much sense. MJF's finisher is Salt of the Earth, of course, the Fujiwara arm bar. It makes so much sense heading into a 60-man Iron Man match. So big fan of that. And of course, Takeshita making a save. We love Takeshita. Everyone loves Takeshita at this point.
Everyone loves Takeshita. He's the best. He's awesome.
He is, and I hope they give us Takeshita versus Cage, like you said. Feels like we're gonna get Takeshita versus MJF eventually. At least I think Takeshita should be beating Brian Cage on a Rampage probably, and that because to me that's not the big main event title win by any means. I think everyone beats Brian Cage when he's on TV except for Willie Mack, who we do like. But
great showing for Willie Mack on Rampage.
Yeah. It's just we're building Takeshita up, get him a match. I'd love a tag team match too, but Blackpool Combat Club, what gives? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Okay. Here's like the one. Like, I thought this segment was good, and like I said, like you said, is one of the only times that I really connected with the Danielson Maxwell feud. MJF, there it is, blanking on his name because of how forgettable this championship reign has been so far. That was mean, but also true. But yeah, I was like, where's the Blackpool Combat Club? It made no sense to me. Like, I love the BCC. I do. It's like, I think they're like the coolest stable. Like, there's like male stable. They're just so cool. And I thought they were going to do something like, I think it was for the Mox for the one of the Mox match build-up, they did the segment where the BCC was like locked away. I thought they were going to do something like that. That would make way more, but no, nothing, no explanation. This feud is built off of the BCC, off of William Regal leaving AEW, and they're just nowhere to be found. It makes zero sense. And there's no insinuation that Danielson isn't part of the BCC. He still wears the gear, and maybe that doesn't mean anything, but he could very much not wear it. And again, this entire feud is built on the back of the FCC, of the BCC. It just makes no sense to not have them involved in some way, shape, or form. And I get it. Yuta was doing other stuff on TV with Mox, and that's fine. But like, the audience deserve an explanation to why they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm sure confused. But whatever. I'll act like it makes sense. Well, hopefully we get some answers eventually. Because I think we should have some. Seeing they're obviously still together. Mox and Danielson tagged just 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I watched that live. Holy shit! Wait, I watched that live
because I sat there and I was like, "Did they has Danielson not been with them since the Regal stuff?" And I was like, "Yes, he has this year."
He had the best of the Blackpool Combat Club Top Flight matches, like him and Mox.
Yeah,
yeah.
That match.
What gives? Rocked. What gives? This makes no sense. I'm so annoyed. That's fine.
Danielson had a great promo backstage, fired up promo saying he's going to wrestle no matter what, and that MJF's a fraud, and Danielson wrestled for 60 minutes with a dislocated shoulder before, paying back to those Ring of Honor days, which I did pop for. That's what we should be doing. And we'll skip to the MJF thing too. I'll just wrap it all in here so we can connect it all. And then MJF has a good. I thought MJF actually had a good promo for the most part. Talk about Takeshita a little bit, hinting that match is coming. Before ultimately talking about Danielson being injured and that he's bringing someone in for that next match, which will be, I believe, it's the last one, the last match of the Danielson row of matches. I don't know for sure.
I think they go to the 8th, don't they? I think he has 2 more.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing right there. We love to see that. So I'm happy this isn't the last one. You are right. You are right. The 8th is right. But he will be facing Pro Wrestling Noah's. When I heard Noah, I was like, got my hug. Or when they said bring as much pain as possible, like, oh my god, I know Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be here in America. Let's go. We're going to do the match. Nope. And then I was like, all right, Noah possibly, because they're playing off the Noah thing, and I think of all these greats in Noah, and then they hit me with Timothy Thatcher, and I was like,
yeah,
okay. The only reason I have hope is, one, I know Timothy Thatcher does have something in him of talent. I've seen it before. And 2, this is Bryan Danielson, baby. Come on. I never doubt Bryan Danielson. I think if anyone's gonna bring out that dog out of Timothy Thatcher that he once upon a time had, it's gonna be Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I was more or less gonna say the same thing. I'm not someone who watches a lot of Noah. I do watch some Noah, and I've enjoyed what I've watched of Noah.
Are you gonna watch Muto's retirement show?
I did.
Sorry, are you gonna watch Keiji Muto's retirement show?
Yes.
I messed up.
Naito Muto. That's crazy. It's gonna be a great
Naito Muto, Okada Kiyomiya, TJPW. Other stuff that I can't remember off the top of my head, but you get the point. This is an all elite podcast, so we'll continue here. So did you like the promos both ways?
Yeah, no, I thought they were both fine. I could have done without the reference to the Takeshita line, but whatever.
I could have too. It's the MJF heel thing, so it's
more or less. I thought both were really effective. I actually want to talk about the Danielson promo for a bit.
For sure.
The line. When he said the line, you can't stop me from wrestling. I won't let you stop me from wrestling again. That really hit me, which it's less to do with the feud and more to do with Danielson and his character progression. Because yes, he was concussed in 2022 and then he was out. So him yelling at the medical staff is like, I don't want you guys to stop me. I don't care if I get hurt. But it also goes back to all the injuries he had that caused his retirement and caused him to lose drop titles back when he was in the WWE. and it's a long history for him of not being able to wrestle because of injury, and it's like he doesn't want that to stop him anymore because it hasn't stopped him in the past, and he's not going to let it stop him again. And I think that's going to be a really, really great story for Danielson going into the 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's the easy way out of having Danielson lose this match, right?
Oh, yeah.
Having him go in injured. And I think it's brilliant. I like, truthfully, it's very smart booking because Danielson's the wrestler's wrestler. Why would MJF be able to beat him? Well, that's because not only did he put him through this thing of having to go through all these great competitors, but he made sure he was injured going into it. So I'm very much looking forward to the match now. The wrestling match, the feud could still heat up a little more for me, but the wrestling match should be great. All right. Speaking of really good wrestling matches, I thought Ruby Soho, and Tony Storm had a very nice match here. Once the dentist was out of the picture, I guess it maybe it got better. Though I did think the triple threat would have been good. I'm not going to actually because I think Britt is best with multi-person matches. I do.
Somebody cooked here.
But I think the originals versus outsiders thing obviously very interesting.
Blood and guts.
That it's absolutely going to blood and guts.
But
I also like Ruby standing her ground and kind of being that one person that isn't like, well, I was in WWE, because to me, Ruby's whole entire character is, yeah, I was there, but I never felt like I belonged there in a lot of ways. Like she never got that same feel as a Saraya did. I know Tony didn't get the big shiny push on the main roster, but every other
pie in the face.
She sure did. Thanks for reminding me that. But she got everything else on the other brand she was on, right? She was still a star on NXT UK, NXT. So I do like that Ruby kind of has this like, hey, well, they may not be homegrown, but everyone has a different path, everyone has a different journey, everyone has a different start, and I like that. And that's what I want to see out of Ruby Soho. I think Ruby Soho, since she's come back, has been really solid, really, really solid, and I'm happy to see this feud going the way it is. I'm actually really into it. Let's just get Jamie Hayter something, please. Thanks, appreciate it. I'm wondering if it's just going to be Tony or not, which is fine. I'm not saying Jamie versus Tony is a bad thing for the pay-per-view. Or is it going to be Saraya, which may be a bad thing?
That would be terrible, and I would cry, and I would wish the worst upon Tony Khan. Tony Khan, you can stop this. Eddie Kingston, I love you so much. That's a wrestler's wrestler too. Back to your earlier comment, but yeah, I like this match a lot. I enjoyed it. I think Ruby and Tony are both really good wrestlers. They're great. Ruby Soho, yeah. But I like Tony working kind of heelish. It's fun. I'm really excited to see how this, which I rarely have ever. I've rarely said this about a women's segment on All Elite Wrestling television. I'm really excited to see where this program goes. It feels well thought out. It feels like it's actually important. It feels like we can potentially get like a pay-per-view match or two that doesn't have anything to do with the title again. I think that's a big step for the women's division. And the dentist wasn't in it, so I'm happy. I feel great. I'm elated. Like I couldn't. My life couldn't be better. Although the dentist did jump scare me at the end.
Sure did, but I thought it worked. Give Ruby the win. Ruby needs a big win against like an actual top competitor for once. She never really gets those. She just beats Ty Conchi, which is They did have that great match on Rampage a few weeks ago.
Let Ruby win the Owen Cup this year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then let her win a title over the summer. Yeah, that's what I want for Ruby.
TBS title, you think?
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
All right. Well, let's move forward here, and it's time for the main event because we already did the MJF stuff. And let's start with the beautiful replacement on the announced team. My guys, Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman coming in. The best commentary team in pro
Yep,
wrestling.
100%.
I freaking love them, and their energy for this match was so great because they were able to balance the feeling of sadness with the feeling of excited because this is a pro wrestling match. This is the main event. This is Mark Briscoe's AEW debut. Like that, they were able to balance all that perfectly. But let's talk a little bit about the entrances. Jay Lethal coming out, tears. Sanjay Dutt with tears, and I just like, man, here we go. Because obviously Mark Briscoe hadn't come out yet, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna kill me. And then Mark Briscoe, God bless this man, he comes out as if he and Jay were walking out there together. High energy. The double titles killed me. That was that was terribly tough. But his energy was infectious because tears in my eyes, I still had a smile on my face. That's what this match was, right? We all, I'm sure, felt one way or the other while watching this match because oh boy was it tough. Um, but what we also felt was just the beautiful idea that a brother was able to go out there and honor his fallen brother to the best of his ability. Not only do I think this was just like a perfect tribute match, this match in its own was a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
Legitimately phenomenal match. This is one of my favorite matches of the year. Legitimately, like the emotional side obviously carries that, but these two should be so proud. Everyone involved in this match should be so proud. Before I have you jump in, I'm just gonna go through some of the big moments. You got the froggy splat, froggy elbow to the outside when Jay just took out Jay Lethal. The table exploded like it was a perfect splash through there. You had just some incredible moments in the ring where Lethal just kept trying and trying to reverse that Jay Driller,
Mhm.
and Mark continuously hit him with these big clotheslines before hitting that Jay Driller and getting the win. I could go through all the match, but folks, if you haven't watched it yet, go out of your way to watch this match because this match not only represents what Jay Briscoe and who Jay Briscoe was as a professional wrestler, it is it is honor. It is everything that you could have asked for and more. This was the tribute match. I think everyone, you don't want this, you don't want these things to ever happen, obviously. But if it was going to happen with Mark Briscoe out there in this state, in this positive, hell yeah, I'm here, I'm gonna do this. Like that's how I felt comfort watching this match is because Mark Briscoe was able to be Mark Briscoe. And this is legitimately one of, for me, the greatest Dynamite matches of all time. It's it's just special.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Sorry. It was a special match. It was a beautiful match. It was. There's been a lot of these ever since Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor. We've seen a lot of like Ring of Honor matches. I mean, the Dynamite where he announced it, we saw Christopher Daniels versus Bryan Danielson,
Mm.
and we've seen countless ROH title matches, TV title matches. We've seen all title matches for all of them, but this match tonight was the most Ring of Honor match that has been aired on AEW television, and it is because of the work of the Briscoes. It is because of the work of Jay, and it is because of the love that everyone in the ring and out of the ring had for Jay Briscoe. And getting to see that match tonight, getting to see that match on television, where, like you said at the beginning, an all too late moment for Jay to make a television debut, but he got that from the people who loved and cared about him. Mark's, I don't know, Mark was so himself while everyone else was in tears and in anguish. He was smiling. At the end of the match, he points to the camera. He talks to his brother. He talks to his family, and it was such a beautiful moment that I genuinely don't think that anyone but the Briscoes could ever do. From before the bell rang, from the announcements to the closing shot, it was the perfect Ring of Honor match. It was the perfect Jay Briscoe memorial match, and it was just a perfect match.
It was. For those wondering, I mean, I know people do care about this cage match. Already has it up. It's at a 9.78 on Cage Match, 54 votes. You know, it's these types of things you don't really know how to rate. I mean, if you just look at the match itself, it's phenomenal. If you look at what the meaning of the match is, it was phenomenal. This was pro wrestling magic at its finest. Everybody, the roster going out to the stage to celebrate Mark Briscoe and celebrate this moment and celebrate the life of Jay Briscoe. Like, I want that Super Card of Honor show to have Adam Cole, to have the Young Bucks, to have FTR, to have Samoa Joe. I want that show to have all the people that were affected by Jay Briscoe as professional wrestlers, as friends. Like, let's put Ring of Honor on that show. I understand you're trying to make a brand for Ring of Honor, but represent him the best you can. And that's what they did tonight. This was, if you care about this, it was by far Jay Lethal's best AEW match. It's not even a question.
Not even close.
It's
Not
one
even
of
close.
the greatest singles matches of Mark Briscoe's career. I mean, Mark Briscoe is an incredible professional wrestler, and I think he's going to win the Ring of Honor World title now. I think he should. I think at the end of the day, there's still Ring of Honor through and through. The one thing I thought about while watching this was he doesn't need to get the All Elite graphic, and here's why. They are Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor is the Briscoes. The Briscoes are Ring of Honor. That's
They were the first inductees in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. They're always going to be Ring of Honor. You can bring him on the show at any time. I like him being a Ring of Honor roster member that appears on AEW. I think that's fine. I don't. Yes, it'll mean a lot to have that All Elite graphic, I'm sure, and I will love to see it. But I'm okay if that doesn't happen because he's a Ring of Honor wrestler. That's who he is. That's who the Briscoes were. They were Ring of Honor. So a fantastic way to end the show. One of the best matches of the year in professional wrestling in terms of just in ring. It was like the special ability that these two had. And you know, I'm going to keep giving credit to Mark because the way he walked out there, right, and just he was Mark Briscoe. Unbelievable. And the way that, you know, Lethal is in tears when the bell rings to start the match. And Jay hugs, not Jay, so, Jay and Mark hug. And just like that, you know, they start chopping each other. And Jay's like, all right, okay, I'm in this, right? Like Jay Lethal's like, all right, I'm in this now. And I think and then when the match ended, Jay Lethal was back to tears. And it's like, they understood what to do, and if he had tears throughout the whole match, I would have understood. But they went out there with a mission, with a job, and they should feel very proud of what they accomplished here on this Wednesday night. One of the greatest matches for me in AEW history, Mark Briscoe's history, Jay Lethal's history, Dynamite history. You get the point. It's that special. It's this watching this match was there's too many familiar. Unfortunately, there's too many familiar shows or matches I've felt watching because a wrestler has passed away. But this was a special way to end. It was the right choice. You couldn't put this anywhere besides the main event. So thank you to Tony Khan. Thank you to AEW. Thank you to Mark Briscoe. Thank you to Jay Lethal. Thank you to everyone that had a hand in putting this together. And I'm gonna say this: everyone, go donate money. Go purchase that wonderful Reach for the Sky Jay Briscoe t-shirt that's on AEW shop, Ring of Honor shop, Pro Wrestling Tees. That is the shirt to go get. Because all the money goes to the Pew family, and that's who needs it more than anyone right now. But we're praying for that family. We're sending love to that family, and again, we thank these incredible performers for being able to go out there and put on one hell of a show. All right. Well,
rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Oh, yes, rest in peace, and of course, happy birthday, Jay Briscoe.
Happy birthday.
So we are going. So I knew we were going to have an emotional show here. So I thought, you know what? Let's do some questions, right? Let's lift our moods, everyone's moods a little bit, and answer some questions here. If you want 6-star for us, you can go through the Twitter ones. We have some Discord ones. I'll go through the Discord ones first.
Ooh, we have Discord ones.
We do. We have Discord ones. I did ask the 5-Star Network Discord, which you can join at any time, folks. Some questions if you wanted us to answer any. So here's what we got from Far5222. Where do both of you see MJF losing the belt, and to who? 6-star, let you go first.
If they go with the Reign of Terror, then Winter is Coming. Probably, I think. And to who? I mean, there's a lot of options. I personally think it'd be time to give it to Hangman Page again. I think if he continues on the trajectory in which he's going right now, it's going to be the wrestler to watch in 2023 and 2024 and until he retires, because this man is he gets it. He's him.
Yeah, I think Full Gear or Winter's Coming makes a lot of sense. Give him the year-long reign. First time an AEW World Champion has that. And I think it's going to be Hangman Page or Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole in this babyface position is going to be very over, very deserving, and it'll be interesting to see if he is that guy. I don't think a certain straight edge guy, even if he comes back, would win the title ever again, because he's been hurt twice now with it. But I do think Adam Cole and Hangman are the two options I'd go with. Next question. Doc Spoon, friend of the show, also the creator of our fantastic All Elite Cast logo, asked, what does 6-star use to make his hair look so good?
Try not to laugh too loud because I have a neighbor.
I can't answer that one, by the way.
I shampoo and conditioner. I am blanking on the brands right now, but they're like a pastel pink bottle. It's really nice.
There you go.
Shampoo 2 to 3 times a week and condition every day, and make sure to massage it, and then brush it, massage the conditioner into your hair, and then brush it into your hair. Leave it. Do the rest of your shower stuff, and then brush it out at the end. That's how my hair is as nice as it is.
Hard editing, friend of the show. How quickly until Swerve has a title? Not soon enough. That's my answer. That's
Not
the
soon
answer.
enough.
Not soon enough. I think by the end of the year he has the TNT title or All Atlantic, one of the two.
St. Patrick's Day Slam.
All right. All right.
I say he wins the Revolution ladder match.
Oh, good shout. Good shout. I forgot about
Yeah.
the Revolution ladder match. I also think that Swerve should be your next heel world champion. Tyler's Kai, who should dethrone Darby Allin?
Swerve. I just said it.
I think
Swerve.
you just answered that. I think Swerve. I'm with you. I'm with you on Swerve. I said end of the year as a simple thing, but I think Swerve should beat him. I think Takeshita should hold the All Atlantic, Swerve hold the TNT, and let them cook.
It's a shame that they're not. They should have booked another. They should have booked another Seattle show in like March or April. Again, assuming that Swerve wins the ladder match, because then they both wrestle in their hometown. It'd be fun. Well, not their hometown, but their home state.
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet. Are they teasing a Mox and Hangman tag team, and how would you feel about it? I've thought about that a little bit. I don't think they're gonna go with the tag team. I think they're gonna just go with the mutual respect.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing a tag team either. However, I would like down the line a New Year's Dash moment where like they're both holding titles and like the Omega Okada tag team. Like let them do that in like a few years. That'd be awesome. But no, I think they're just doing this the mutual respect thing. If they were to be a tag team, how would I book it? Probably like a healthier version of Omega and Hangman.
Yeah, that's fair. Where is the Yuka Sakazaki versus Athena match?
Super Card of Honor.
Yeah, I don't know if they can hold off that long, but it should be there. If it's like that, that's a good pay-per-view match. It's just a matter of how they do it, because Yuka does have to go back within the month. So since they haven't booked it yet, they did have a tag match on Dark Elevation this week.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I do think it might be sooner than it should be. But I would love it to be Super Card of Honor. With FTR taking time off, who would you say is the next pay-per-view feud for the Acclaim? That was from Amy. It's the Gun Club, sadly.
It's the Guns, sadly.
All right, next question. The 94th minute. How would you make Wardlow relevant again? Does he need a manager to help him? How? I don't know. I don't care. Like that's the problem. I don't care. I think he's like, we've hit the Wardlow peak. We're not getting there again.
And unfortunate for him, what happened with Double or Nothing, that sucked. Like for him, but like also the power going into the Powerbomb Symphony right after like beating MJF with it, like he should have retired it there, but continuing with that Powerbomb pop really was detrimental to his character. And TK didn't book him the best either, but it's also like I've never felt anything from Wardlow promo. I actually think like they're bad. He is just not able to connect with me like what I want, and I think a lot of the AEW fan base wants. His title reign was boring, and I really don't see anything interesting for him. I think that the most interesting he's ever been was when he was doing the stuff with MJF, and I really do not want to see that world title feud.
I'm sure we'll get it. Even if I don't need it. What does the future for Mark Briscoe look like? Ring of Honor World Champion, Owen Hart Cup winner, TNT champion. I think Ring of Honor World Champion for sure.
World champion. Yeah.
I don't know about the Owen Hart one. I think they could go to pretty much anyone. Probably should go with a babyface this year, which Mark obviously is, but probably a guy on the roster. I think having Mark go for the Ring of Honor World Championship this year is the way to go. TNT champion, maybe somewhere down the road. You never know on that belt.
He'd be great.
Yeah, but
be a great TNT champion.
Definitely Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's what it 100% happens before the end of the year. I think that's what I fully believe.
yeah. Should the Owen Hart Cup be a yearly tradition? Not will it, but should it be a yearly tradition?
Yeah, I mean, could it be booked better? Of course, it can be booked better. Last year's like I was wanting more of it, but it was great. Kyle O'Reilly was like the standout by a long shot.
I don't remember
Um,
any of it
I remember
except for who
Kyle
won.
O'Reilly's matches, and Tony Jamie one happened. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yuka
you're right.
Sakazaki Riho happened. That was pretty good.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I think that they 100% should. I think it's a really good way to take someone who's like a mid card and elevate them to like the upper mid card or mid card into like even a main event scene.
Yeah.
And I think it should really be a wrestling tournament. That's TK. If you do anything, if you're listening right now, which I know you are because you're not, but you're critically on, you're chronically online, so you are, everyone you already know the best opinion is like just make it about wrestling because that's what Owen Hart is. He is wrestling. But yeah, it should be a yearly thing. I really enjoyed the Owen Hart. Uh,
I also want to add. I think it should. I know they get the pink belt for like a week. I think it should be like you get a title shot or something. I think you should get something. I'm not saying the belt's not meaningful or anything. I'm just saying you should get something out of it that counts. Because we never saw the belt again after those first 2 weeks.
yeah,
So
I agree. And correct me if I'm wrong. I remember I think Adam Cole kind of used that like a little bit in terms of like building to Forbidden Door for being in the IWGP heavyweight world heavyweight
maybe.
four-way match. Like I'm the Owen Cup tournament winner. It's like,
Oh,
but
maybe.
I agree. I think that
I
it
know
should be
Britt
treated like a
didn't get
bigger
anything
deal.
out of it.
Britt got nothing.
Not that I'm upset about that, but
Oh yeah, I'm
still,
glad
like
Britt got that.
in all seriousness, she probably should have got something out of it. And the final Discord question from Kane's Lance: do you think we see Unagi on AEW programming while she is in America? Unagi Sayaka, that is, for
Yeah,
those who are listening and do not know anything about Joshi. 6-star. Do you think Unagi assesses AEW?
remind me again. She's coming during like the Mania week and stuff, right?
No.
No, when is
After
she
that.
coming? After that,
After that. She's coming in May.
I say yes because I believe in Omegaism.
I'm gonna make everyone sad, and I'm gonna say no. I think she's coming mostly with Marvelous. I think that's kind of her new slap kind of home base type thing. Who are also appearing on that show, and Marvelous last time they came here obviously didn't touch AEW, so I think that will stay the same. But I would love to see Unagi on there. Thank you to Kane's Landstock Spoon, Timmel, the 94th minute, Amy, and Tyler's Kai and Heart Editing and Far 5222 for all the questions. All right, let's wrap this up here with the Twitter questions, which 6-star has.
Yeah. So first up here we have a question from BK. Much love to you, BK. At the BK Slade 1969. Who's a mid Carter, past or present, that is actually underrated? No Dolph Ziggler's or Cesaro's.
I feel like I gotta go for WWE on this one, huh? I feel like that
We
was
could.
like that did feel like the question. Um I should have like looked at these questions beforehand. So now I gotta if you have an answer, you go first.
I have an
Um
answer. It's not WWE though. It's Matt Sydal.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I think people know he's a good wrestler. I don't think people understand that he's just like a really good wrestler. Like he's just great, and
Sure. Yeah.
like he's never had a bad match. That's a lie. Everyone's had a bad match, but like he's good and doesn't get enough love. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's my answer.
It's a really good one. Um I've been tripped up. Congratulations, everyone. I've been tripped up. Also, the Bella Twins, I just want to point out, are in the WWE Hall of Fame, and they're under the alumni page here on WWE.com. Just want everyone to know that. Tough selling
Oh,
here. Yeah, that shocked me. Because I was going through to see like I wanted to see like if I'm forgetting anyone because I have a few people kind of spinning in my head. Um, Matt Sydal was such a good one. I'm actually very jealous of that. So I will go with shit. You like pick someone older, so like I guess is I don't know if he's considered because he has one world title to his name, but I think Christopher Daniels. I think Christopher Daniels is very
Run the show.
underappreciated in his like unless you were a big time Ring of Honor fan or Impact fan, sorry, TNA fan to be exact, you don't really fully appreciate how great Christopher Daniels was. And I think, he's one of those guys history will probably be kinder to as time goes on. But he was awesome. He was awesome in every role he ever was in, whether it was tag team wrestler, singles wrestler, I'm happy he got his world title moment in Ring of Honor eventually. And he's still
Way too late. But yeah,
and he's
he did get
still
it.
very solid now, by the way. So
Oh yeah,
I'd say Christopher Daniels.
yeah. That's a great one. I shouted again to the Ryan Danielson Christopher Daniels match. I really liked that one. It was really good. All right, next one from BK. Favorite interest outside of wrestling, reading or music, or Pokemon right now?
Oh, I thought it was I got so confused. I was like, are they asking me reading or music? But
No, no. Favorite
that
interest
was your
outside of
answer.
wrestling,
No, I
reading,
know.
music,
I got you.
Pokemon.
Fun fact for everyone, I'm actually a big sports guy outside of my wrestling life.
Volleyball is a big one for me, and soccer. I'll continue.
You're welcome. I'm a big hockey fan. Actually, I actually started the show off with a Boston Bruins hat on. I'm from New England, so like sports kind of run deep here. If you're from here, that kind of is how it goes. I mean, we've won a lot of championships in my lifetime, so I'd say sports. If not sports, I love TV shows. I love movies. Um, just watched this great show called Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. It was phenomenal. It was 6 episodes per season. It had Gary Oldman, who I love from the Dark Knight trilogy. He
Mm.
was Gordon. He was Gordon in that, and he was excellent in this show. Like he's on his way from me being like an all time character, TV show character, like which I don't take lightly as someone that's seen the Walter Whites and Tony Sopranos and Tyrion Lannisters and like all these
Showtime,
guys.
folks.
Yeah, like I've seen so many, like I've watched a lot of the top TV shows. Oh, I'll even bring in Daenerys Targaryen into that. I think there's some great, like if you watch House of the Dragon like myself, I think Olivia Cook as I can't remember her name, but she's fantastic in it. And then like The Last of Us, I love The Last of Us. Watching that now too. So TVs, movies, sports,
The Last of Us is
pretty.
great.
I'm pretty basic, but it's okay.
It is what it is. Another non-wrestling related top 5 movies of all time from Murph, uh, Joshi, PW for life. So Murphy Murph. That's
Top
hard.
5 movies?
Yeah. Her, Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. Where's my hand? Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. Uh, this is really difficult. You put me on the spot.
I'll go. I got mine. Uh, not in order. Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4, and The Departed. Those are my 5 favorite movies of all time. No lie. I also love Top Gun Maverick. It actually might be being off The Departed nowadays because I love it so much. But legitimately, all 4 Toy Stories. I won't hear a word that any of them are bad, so don't even try. The fourth is actually phenomenal. I won't hear it. Makes me cry every time I watch it. Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4, and either The Departed or Top Gun Maverick or The Godfather. I also love The Godfather. So, very, very different from my first 4.
Yeah. The Toy Story movies are great. That was so fast. Okay, so not in order. Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse.
Great film.
Her.
Never seen it.
It was really good. I love
I
Joaquin
will.
Phoenix.
I will
He's
have to
very,
see it.
very talented. The Incredibles.
Great film.
Tremendous film. Uh, oh God, I can't remember any movie I've ever seen in my life. All of a sudden, oh, this is so stressful. I've seen so many movies. This is difficult. Um, Nightmare Before Christmas. Love Nightmare Before Christmas.
And one more.
Um, and one more. All right,
First movie that
dear.
pops in your head.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
There we go.
Love that
All right.
movie.
Next question.
A solid top 5. I will definitely have a different one if I ask myself this question tomorrow because
I
it's
will have
hard.
the same top 4. I promise.
That's fair. Good top 4. Okay.
Thank you.
From my friend Delightful, Delight Sugar Spice, letter D Light on Twitter. Do you think
Incredible
people
name.
focus too much on someone getting a title instead of having a good storyline? Miro being a good example. Yes, absolutely. So like the question is, do people? Or it again. Do you think people focus too much, like the fans focus too much on someone getting a title instead of having a good storyline? And like their example is Miro. Like people are like, why is Miro not wrestling? Why doesn't he have a belt on him right now? Like that's the example.
One hot take. I'm not a big Nero guy, but I
Oh, I was about to
understand.
drop a hot take.
I understand the example. Yeah, I do think so. I think people do associate titles with importance over story, but I also understand why, because you want to see your favorites win titles, right?
Mhm.
Like that's part of it. So yes and no. I think like I think no I think Swerve should win a title, but I also think Swerve should finish his story with Keith Lee.
Yeah.
More importantly, it comes a time where people deserve titles, and I think titles are the best form of recognition. That's what they are in pro wrestling,
Mhm.
right? That is the form of recognition. You can have a great story, you can have a great match, but recognition comes down to the title more often than not. So I understand why they do. They definitely do. But we also live in a world now where people are very much not willing to follow through on a story. And I'll give an example that some people may hate on this podcast, but the reason WWE has one good story is because they've stuck with it the whole time,
Yeah.
right? If like they ended the Sami Zayn thing 3 months ago, they would have obviously have nothing super hot right now. But at the same time, it's made their product worth watching for a lot of people. So I think people want long-term storytelling and they lie to themselves and they actually don't. I do, but only if it
Yeah.
makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
think I think it has to make sense as well. Like that's how stories work. But I do agree that titles are usually more looked at and cared about than anything else because it's recognition.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said.
It
In terms of like what I said, yes, it's like, oh,
I have a perfect example.
mm,
Eddie Kingston. Everyone thinks he needs to win the world title, and I think it would be great, but I think he needs to have the story of chasing and getting to that world title against MJF. If he wins or loses, whatever. But I think at the very least he needs that story because that is the story of Eddie Kingston.
yeah. Oh,
But he should
Eddie
totally win.
Kingston. Eddie Kingston's also a tremendous shout for the question. Who dethrones MJF? That's also a tremendous shout that I forgot to mention. Love Eddie Kingston. God, I love Eddie Kingston. I said that so much tonight, but yeah, it's just I think people they want to see their favorite wrestlers on TV and they want to see them holding titles on TV. But like I said earlier, not everyone gets to hold a title and not everyone should. And quite frankly, some wrestlers do not deserve to. There's other better options than other wrestlers than them at this current moment, and there will be in the future. And Miro shouldn't win the TNT title or any title anytime soon. I don't particularly care for seeing him have another title reign.
I also have another example that not everyone that listens to this podcast may understand at all. But I am, of course, one with the I wish someone had the title, and that's Mayu Utani with the IWGP Women's Championship. But I sit here now, right? Because there was a perfect story leading into that. But I sit here now and I realize, you know what? I'm actually kind of happy she didn't win that because Kyrie's just going to lose to Mercedes Monet. So it is what it is.
And wouldn't have gotten a very short match on Wrestle Kingdom. I'm not going to get into that
No, we're
again.
not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Next question.
If you want to hear us get into that, you can listen to our podcast from a few weeks ago in which we reviewed Stardom.
Yeah, 5-star
Dream
Joshi
Kingdom.
show, maybe
5-star Joshi show.
That's the one. That show's allowed to be said on here at all times because that is the 5-star name. That is the original 5-star name.
Let's go.
Next
But
question.
next question. What would you both feel would help fix WWE and AEW's women's divisions, respectively? Um,
um, hmm,
well, let's
Six
start
star, you
with
can go first.
the big one. How about we book the women, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, let's not tease and promote a cage match for an entire month and then not do it. Perhaps treat the women with respect and as people and let them do what's comfortable for them as wrestlers and not treat them as commodities um, or a form of capital in the form of their attractiveness. And let's also not maybe just maybe let's not make them let's not make them like part of let's not make them feel this was more for AW like their divisions are less important than the men's, which actually has been a pretty bad problem in WWE too. Now that I'm thinking about it, both of them. It's you want to know what you do. You give them time. You give them
Yeah.
respect. You let the people who are getting over with the audience do what they're doing. You give them great matches. You let the women wrestle in styles that they're good at. Are you fucking kidding me? What is Io Shirai doing? She did this to herself, but mm, mm.
All right.
You have one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of Stardom. You're doing nothing with her, Triple H. Nothing. It's because you're a fraud. Because you're a fucking coward.
All right. I'm gonna before Six Star loses it. I was just say time. Time is more important than anything else for both of these
Mm-hmm.
divisions, not just WWE. I think what they did this week obviously is why we are here with this conversation again, but we can also agree that there are weeks on AEW where we are just putting a women's match on there to be a tokens women's match, and I think that's unacceptable. I
It's
think that's a
terrible.
problem. That's pretty much every Jade Cargill tag match, unfortunately, even title defenses sometimes. And maybe that's because she's also limited, to be fair. But I think when you give them time, which AEW has started to do a little bit more, you get to see an actual story come to play and a story that people are interested in. It's very simple. Booking is actually not as hard as these people make it seem. I swear, don't get me wrong. I couldn't book an entire 3 hour show with time cues and everything, but I could also tell you that it's not difficult to put Becky Lynch and Bailey in a ring for 25 minutes and let them cook.
Yeah.
That is the easiest thing you could do, Triple H. They are literally two of your most popular wrestlers. Women's, men's, it doesn't matter. Becky Lynch was the face of this company 3 years ago. I don't know if people forgot that. I clearly everyone has in WWE, but I haven't. I also remember that, when COVID was happening, who was your biggest stars? It wasn't Drew McIntyre. It wasn't Becky Lynch because she was pregnant. It was Bailey and Sasha Banks. That's why Vince McMahon, God, I can't believe I'm giving this guy credit, he put them on both shows and they took up majority of the time and they made those lifeless shows entertaining. They actually brought me back to Raw and SmackDown almost every week. Now, I fast forward through shows. Don't get me wrong,
As you should.
I'm not insane here, but I watched everything that they did because I thought they had a very special run. So, Triple H, get your head out of your ass. Stop taking credit for this women's revolution, which, by the way, is just a big PR point to begin with. Stephanie McMahon did nothing. I'm not going to sit here and act like she did anything. It was those four horsewomen who started something. It was no time for the women. So what happened? A hashtag began and so forth. But it takes great matches, which if you give them the time, they will deliver. It takes care. It takes time. It's not that difficult. It's very simple. You've noticed it. You've noticed the change with the AEW. We watched Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter have one hell of a match
One of
at the
the
end of last year,
I think it's like the best women's match on Dynamite ever.
right?
It's really good.
And go back to Forbidden Door when Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa had like a
Great match.
minuscule match, though, in terms of time.
No.
It was a minuscule time match. I thought they did a great job, but there's a reason everyone left that show saying, "Oh, well, that was easily the worst match." Yes,
Oh yeah, it
because you
was.
didn't give it care, you didn't give it time, and that's what you do. Also, people thought Stardom was going to be on the show, which that's your fault. But anyways, that is
I knew Stardom wasn't going to be on the show because they had a pay per view that day.
yeah,
Actually,
they did. They
I'm
sure
just saying,
did.
a lot of people were like, Stardom's going to be there.
Oh,
Y'all don't pay attention to Stardom, then.
yeah, you told
But
me
I'm not going to
Mercedes
get into that.
Monet was going to be there too, and how's that
But
work
yeah,
out?
yeah, that match, like I said, like the Thunder Rosa and the Storm had a great match at Forbidden Door that went like 2 seconds.
Oh, actually, I'm going to get angry again. The reason that Mercedes Monet is no longer in WWE is because of this gigantic roadblock that has the last name Flair attached to her that no one will understand. No one has the fandom for her as they do a Mercedes Monet says Sasha Banks, a Becky Lynch, a Bailey. It's the reason to me, despite all the accolades, despite many great matches, I'm not taking away from Charlotte Flair that she's had great matches, but she has seriously regressed in recent years. It's the reason she's at the bottom because anytime she's been given the ball, I am far more bored than when the other three have been given the ball. Give them the ball. There's a reason Bianca Belair, God bless her, who has awful opponents most of the time, still gets the loudest reactions. And it's because she's that good. So just give them time, give them the care, and just let them do the damn thing. I don't know how you're supposed to get anyone else over in WWE other than the Horsewoman if you're not putting the others on TV for more than 5-minute matches that are just happening. But
Yeah.
I'm done.
Wait, before you, another quick thing. Don't do stupid shit. Like,
Yeah, never
specifically
do
looking at
stupid
you, Hunter. What the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't do stupid shit. Let the women do cool things.
We did get
That's also
smart
my
shit
opinion.
though, because there was a pay-per-view. Though not a pay-per-view. There's a match on Rampage this coming week. Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura, baby.
I am so happy.
Oh, it
Oh,
officially
I'm
main
so happy.
evented Rampage, by the way. So there's a women's main event. That's Tony Khan saying that I got this. I'm not only gonna finally put Emi Sakura on TV, she's getting a TV main event. Appreciate you, Tony. About
You know
damn
what's
time you
perfect?
listen.
That goes so well into my next question. From Oh, the last question was from Far, by the way. Thank you. So the next question comes from my friend Z. Thanks for the question. Z is the one underscore on Twitter. Who is the dark horse in the AEW in the women's division? I assume AEW because that's what this podcast is about. Emi Sakura. It's Emi Sakura. To me,
Emi Sakura. Yeah,
she has one of the highest cage matches, doesn't she, in the women's division as well? It's
sure
not all
does.
her. It's not all of her eight. No, it's just great. She's so good. She's so good. I love her.
If you want me to name someone else, so I'm not like the exact same because Emi Sakura is the clear answer. I think Red Velvet's great. I think Red Velvet's really talented.
Yeah, terrific. Okay,
I think
I
Riho forever because she's never on TV, so I think she counts. Um,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the fan base does very much appreciate Riho, though.
yeah, that's true. So I'd say Red Velvet. But Emi Sakura's the obvious
Yeah,
answer.
Red Velvet's a good one. I think she's keeps owning Jade Cargill. Um, I think that's the direction they're going.
I think Red
Next,
Velvet's just going to be number 50, sadly. So
oh, that would suck.
it's probable, since I think we're at 49.
Yeah, we're at 49. So next question from God Bushi at Brian underscore Macbeth9 on Twitter. How do you feel about the World Cup of Wrestling that Okada has suggested? Also, which companies parentheses besides the one in Connecticut would you want to participate?
I think it's a wonderful idea, obviously, because World Cups are cool. The
World Cups are
ideas of
awesome.
the idea of a World Cup is cool. What companies do I want to participate? I think every country should probably get 2 teams at least. AAA is actually doing one right now. Funny enough, but they brought Alberto Del Dinkhead back, so I am
Yeah.
automatically tuned out. I
Triple
think,
A has been moving very, very nastily recently. So
yeah. So I think New Japan, obviously, AEW, obviously, kind of needs CMLL to work with AEW, which makes it very difficult. But that's who I would include because AAA ain't working with New Japan, and you want New Japan in this tournament.
I
So
don't think
that's
Triple A. Isn't like the reports are saying Triple A is like trying to move away from the relationship with AEW.
well. Then I hope that CMLL sees a chance here and gets comfy with, which won't probably happen. But my dream is that, because AAA definitely won't work with New Japan, CMLL can work with them. So I do AEW, CMLL, New Japan. I'd add in women's side of things, obviously Stardom, if that's the case. I think you could do an 8-team World Cup tournament and do it round robin style.
Yeah.
And obviously you want to try to include every country, but it's hard to because not everyone will play ball. So you can also bring Europe probably into it as the fourth country, the fourth main country. Um, do Europe, US, Mexico, Japan. I think those would work
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
main ones. And then have
There's
two
wrestlers.
teams each.
Yeah, and
Now,
then there's
who
wrestlers in
Europe wise,
promotions.
you could just cheat and put Osprey, Saber, like you can just cheat and use the British people from other companies, right?
So I
And
was
that's
literally going to say like you could do that.
yeah. Well, also the thing is for a World Cup, and I hate to not include a lot of promotions, but you could literally do a World Cup with just AEW New Japan
Oh yeah, 100%.
because you have the talent. Bring Stardom into the fold. I mean, obviously, if WWE played ball, you'd love to have them in there, but that's never going to happen. So, I would bring in. You could bring in things like Noah or stuff, but
I need to keep WWE away from Stardom. I need Hunter away from Stardom. Stay away. No.
I'm not. I'm not. I remember how worried people were about that. I was like, there is a different world now that Bushiroad's paying for contracts and not just Stardom. That's why Io Shirai left. That's why Kyrie originally left. Now that Bushiroad's paying, it's a different world. But yeah, I mean, between New Japan and AEW, you can get the best of the best from Mexico by default because you have Phoenix and Penta. I know they weren't able to be on Forbidden Door, but I'm going to say that you can get them on there. Um, you can get, I mean, your trios Europe team can be Osprey, Pac, and Zack Sabre Jr. if you want, which is
Yeah,
insane. But
that's talent.
I think
That's
it would be
talent.
fun. Use as many companies as possible that are willing to play together, but it's harder than it ever could possibly be because even using CMLL or AAA is nearly impossible because AEW and New Japan are the only two that I'm pretty sure can definitely work together and not have any problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though you can use all of Cyber Fight too
It's just true as well.
because everyone's playing ball there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies you can use.
I just want to get AAA or CMLL in there, but I
Mhm.
just know that it's hard. So
Yeah, lucha politics are a whole world that not worth discussing right now.
yeah, I'd even say
The next question is: since Sting says he's retiring soon, book his last 3 matches: one trios, one tag, and his final singles match.
trios, Sting, Darby, and trios is weird
Trios
because
is weird.
there's obviously tags and a singles for me, but putting a third person with them needs to make sense. So I do Sting. I miss CM Punk for this reason only. They were fun together.
No,
They had a cool T-shirt too. Um, if you have the trios match, you can go first. Uh,
I don't. I'm trying to think of like anyone who could have a connection with
Sting. Okay, all right. Let me cook. Sting, Darby, and Samoa Joe because of TNA stuff
Fair.
versus the Elite. Let Sting cook against the Elite. Trios title
Okay,
match. You can make Samoa Joe a babyface by the end of this.
that goes perfectly into my tag match,
Well, I'm happy I helped set that up.
which was Sting Darby versus the Young Bucks.
Absolutely. I would absolutely do that. Okay. Well, I'll change up the tag team to be different. I'll do Sting and Darby versus probably just FTR, just to pick the other tag team that's talented in
The
or
first match
other
was fucking great. So
top. Yeah, exactly. I think it would be better this time because they found their mark, and singles match is very simple. Darby versus Sting. Feels like the right way for him to go out.
I never answered the trios one, but I honestly can't think of anything better than that.
Or if
Because
you
the
want me
Elite
to
was always,
cook,
the Elite
cook
was
real
always.
quick.
Oh, please do.
Sting AEW World Title match against MJF. Winter is coming, to be exact.
That's where he debuted. Oh, that's really good. That's
My
really
preference is
good.
Sting actually just doesn't retire, but he's going to. So,
Yeah, this year, realistically.
and I know that singles match will be actually with Darby, but
Mm-hmm.
if I was to pick someone else other than the obvious, do the world title match. Let's get nuts.
That's really good. That's a really good shot. That's a good one. Oh, that retirement match is gonna kill me.
I really wanted CM Punk versus Sting at once upon a time for the world title, but CM Punk had to get angry, so and
CM
injured.
Punk had to CM Punk.
Hey! This is a pro CM Punk podcast, just like it's a pro Elite podcast.
I never said that was a bad thing. Oh no.
I won't
CM
lie.
Punk went and did a CM Punk.
This is a 100% pro Cody podcast because I can't get 6-star on my side for that one.
No, you cannot.
But we are also a pro Adam Cole podcast.
That we are. We are.
So there you
go. Much better than Cody Rhodes.
Wrestling has only one royal family. I'm just kidding. No, they don't.
The next question is top 10 matches of all time. Why do you keep making me make lists?
I can't do that one. I'm sorry. Like who asked that? Who asked?
At Yosuke Merchant.
I can't answer that, but one, thanks for trying to put us on the spot. What I will give you is who has the best catalog of top matches. Her name is Mayu Iwatani. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's a great and
if you want a male to play evens here, I know who you're gonna say. You're gonna say Kenny Omega. I'm not stupid.
I just mouthed it. Yeah, it's Kenny Omega.
But I'll go for male, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Go
That's
Ace.
A really good one.
I know none of these are AEW answers, but you're trying to. You didn't ask me an AEW question. So
this is true. I will give you one of my favorite, my number one match, which is Ibushi Omega. Not
from
the
DDT?
one. DDT, like the regular match, not the false count anywhere one.
No, I got you.
It's really good.
If you ask me, I'll twist that question. We'll turn it into an AEW question. Favorite AEW match of all time?
That's a hard one. I swear I had an answer if we asked me.
I'll have to piss 6-star off.
I think I know which one.
It's Cody and Dustin for me.
That's an amazing match.
Because I think that match put AEW on the map, like emphatically. Like first show,
Moxley put AEW on the
map.
That
too, but like if you were looking for like a 5-star classic match, what to expect from this company, that was the one from that show.
Yeah, mostly
I don't really remember Jericho and Kenny from that show.
Favorite AEW match, I think I'm going to have to go with Omega Moxley Full Gear. Yeah, it's one of my.
Really?
It's. I
The
can't think of anything
the
else.
lights out match?
I really liked it. It's what. It's
Wow.
what.
I thought for sure you were picking something with the Young Bucks.
I'm trying to think.
my
There's so
other
many.
my other choices, because I didn't give.
I lied. I completely lied to you. I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. It's Hangman
Hangman.
Omega versus the Young Bucks. I was
Yeah,
like,
I figured that was the choice.
it is my favorite match. Oh, what was I
That's why when
picking?
you said Omega Mox, I was like, really?
I was
I was
thinking
like,
singles matches for a second.
yeah,
And it was like,
no, I knew that was gonna be your choice. I didn't give a 5-star match to AEW last year. So I'm not actually gonna pick anything from last year. But the year prior, Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros inside a steel cage.
oh, one of the best matches
And
of all
then
time. The best cage match of all time.
of course Hangman and Omega versus the Young Bucks the year before. And the year before that, like I said, Cody and Dustin.
You gave nothing 5 stars last year. Huh?
No, I didn't. Which people might yell at me for that. Well, no, because the best 2 matches with AEW talent happened in Ring of Honor. So shout out Briscoes.
Respect Anarchy in the Arena.
That was great, but
It's amazing.
that dog collar match beats everything.
So good. No, that
And
entire trilogy was really good.
Obviously it has extra emphasis now, but that was already my highest from last year. Anarchy in the Arena was great, but I don't know. It's so weird to grade something like that. It was just an absolute chaos.
It's like the best plunder match of all time. It was so good. It was so
well,
good. It was a match of two. It was a match of 2
what
hours.
is dog collar match?
Oh,
What is
that's
a
fair.
dog
That's
collar
fair. That's
match?
fair. That's fair.
Also, shout out to some TLCs from back in the day, please. Thank you.
Fair enough. But
Jeff Hardy
listen.
nearly died for those matches.
Jeff Hardy. I hope he's doing well.
Shout out Jeff Hardy. Happy he hasn't come
well.
right back. Happy he's doing. I assume he's doing good.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't.
I'm gonna rewatch Cody and Dustin, guys. Thank you.
I'm gonna rewatch Hangman Omega versus the Young Bucks. So I'm gonna fall
I'm gonna
asleep.
rewatch Cody and Dustin on the eve of Cody's return. Special.
I hope he loses the Royal Rumble.
Hey man, this is gonna be the one time me and 6-star ever disagree. It's gonna be about Cody.
It's about Cody.
There's probably something else too, but
we just haven't found it yet.
We'll probably it'll be something. So far through 2 episodes together, we haven't disagreed.
All right.
And Natsupoi, Natsupoi the GOAT. Maya's actually the GOAT, so we'll just call Natsupoi the best. I think that's fair, right?
2 goats. There, that's all it's.
Yeah. Natsupoi, like 6-star said, perfect.
Shout out Natsupoi. Next question. What do you want to see from AEW in the new year? Parentheses, not wrestler specific, but from the company as a whole.
Better builds to pay-per-views throughout the entire card. Not just 2-3 matches, but throughout the entire card. Don't get me wrong, pay-per-views always deliver. Not saying that. I just want the build to fully deliver. I want more emphasis on the women's side of things, more women's main events. Let's stop acting like it's a unique thing. Let's just do it. Which they're starting to do on Rampage. We're already at 2 this year with this upcoming one, which is great to see. But Dynamite 2. If Jamie Hayter is defending the title, make it the main event. Plain and simple. No questions asked. Which she did last year, of course, with the title. That was the main event, right?
Yeah.
All right. So more women's main events just naturally. Like, let's not make it a big deal. Let's just do it. And more emphasis on, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, but more emphasis on your incredible tag team division. Like
100%.
Like, I remember when the Young Bucks had that first talk at the press conference, and they're like, "We're gonna make tag team wrestling main event wrestling, and we're gonna do this and that." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I haven't seen a tag team title match main event to pay-per-view yet, and I think we've had multiple opportunities so far, and we haven't done it. I understand world title almost should always main event a pay-per-view, but if you ever plan to run back Young Bucks and FTR, that should probably main event your pay-per-view. If
Young Bucks and Golden Lovers should main event.
yeah, if Young Bucks and Golden Lovers happens, obviously that should main event a pay-per-view. You have a number of ways to go, but I would like that, and also more Kenny Omega, because that's always a rule in this house.
Yeah, there was far too little Kenny Omega last year.
And bringing back CM Punk. All right, let's end the show.
I don't know about all that. I didn't say that.
I did.
Comment.
Wait. I'm gonna go back on record here. I want to see CM FTR versus the Elite.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, man. If they can mend those bridges, then do it. But
just remember, he's still signed.
Fair enough. And he's working out again.
He's got that itch. He just needs to not be a dickhead.
You're asking CM Punk to not be a dickhead. You're asking the impossible here.
CM Punk's like my favorite men's wrestler of all time. So
makes sense.
I apologize for my hope, but I'm never going to give up hope that pro wrestlers can figure out a conflict, because this is pro wrestling and they can make mucho money out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
also more Osprey on AEW TV.
It's a great one. It's
it's not just. I think I'm done. I can't add anymore.
I agree with all the ones you said.
Wait, I have another one. A real TBS title run that's like Darby's that we're seeing right now. Let someone cook with that title.
Yeah, 100%. I love Jade, but it's felt at this point feels a little bit more of an accessory to Jade, and I think that the best thing about
Riho Open Challenge run right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think that the best part about Jade being TBS champion, outside of she's a star, and I think she's a really good inaugural champion in terms of like being someone who can represent AEW. But the best thing that's going to come out of this title reign is the massive push she's going to be giving someone, like the rub she's going to be giving someone by dropping the title to that woman, and also giving them their first win over Jade Cargill, which is going to be big. It's going to be great. In terms of what I want to see from AEW in the new year, nice try. You can't subliminally message me into anything.
More Briscoe.
More Mark Briscoe, 100%. I think
I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna mute myself.
No, that was a good one. That was one of the ones I was gonna say. Is if we can get Mark Briscoe on AEW TV, we should. Yes, he's gonna be in Ring of Honor, but let's give the Briscoes the TV time they deserve. Let's give Mark Briscoe the TV time he deserves that he didn't get, that Jay didn't get either. I'd like to see the tournaments. They feel kind of empty. Like they feel kind of like the tournaments, you get a title shot, you get a thing, but like what's happening with them? Nothing. Like you have such a stacked roster, people should be allowed. Another thing, I guess I'll get into the next. Do the tournament, put your big main event players in. That's why things like the G1 work. That's why things like WWE's Deadly Games from 2 decades ago works. That you're putting in big names and doing storylines in these tournaments. AEW hasn't done that, which sucks. And they've had good matches, but I think that you should not be scared to make your tournaments as star-studded as they could be. And my next one is people need to be able to lose clean and be able to win clean. It is not a bad thing to lose to a former world champion. It is not a bad thing to lose to a top babyface. It is not a bad thing to put over someone who's at the top. That's why we have these different parts of the roster. We don't need to, yes, I understand protecting, but also you can just lose and it's fine. Look at Takeshita losing clean in these big matches, and he's one of the most over people on the roster.
Hey, Six, do you smell that?
Smells like
because you're cooking.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my big two. And I would like Dark to be better. It's not going to
All right.
happen, but I would like Dark to be better.
Can we let me reason with you. Let me reason with you. Can we start with Rampage being consistently better, and
You
then
know what?
Dark?
You know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. Uh, although Rampage has had been pretty decent the last month or two, like month.
I mean, they just put the
But,
greatest Rampage match of all time on there. After all,
oh
Jamie
yeah, they
Hayter versus
did.
Emi Sakura. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's gonna be insane. It's gonna be such a good 15-minute match. I'm so excited.
Give me 7 stars. 6 star.
The 6 star, 6 star.
6 star. 6 star.
All right.
Is that it?
No, we have 4 more questions.
All
One,
right,
two.
we're here all night. We're here all night. We're over 2 hours, folks. You better listen to this show.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry. I keep doing this every time I'm on a podcast with you.
It's okay. I mean, I don't care. I just hope people listen.
Me too. And I have fun talking to you. Okay. From at Storm Season _ or Tez, who is the greatest wrestler of all time, and why is it Hikuleo?
One, no. Two, it's Mayu Tani. Thank you for asking.
Kind of spitting. I can't lie. Mayu's so good. But sadly, it's Kenny Omega actually. But it's 2 sides of the same coin. 2 sides of the same coin.
Just saying, it's Mayu Tani. All right, continue.
Oh, that's fair. You know what? I can respect that. I love Mayu Utami. Top 5 AEW matches of all time. Ah, holy fucking
Oh
crap.
man, I didn't know this was one of the questions. I wouldn't have cheated earlier.
I didn't know it was one either, to be
Well,
fair.
I'll still cook right now.
Okay,
Number
you
one, Cody and Dustin. Sorry, I literally just admitted that, so it's okay. Two, Bucks Lucha Bros. Three, Hangman Page Kenny versus the Bucks. Okay, so 2 tag team matches. Comes from the guy that says you should main event more with tag team matches. I think that was really on point here. Oh dear God, now I have to remember the rest of their matches ever. No world title matches ever.
fair.
Sorry. Weird. Kenny and Danielson. And oh boy. Oh, this is trouble. I'm in trouble here. I'm in trouble here. This isn't great. This isn't great. I can't think. I can't think. Come back to me for my number 5.
Okay. Okay, I can go. So, number 1, uh, Omega Hangman versus the Young Bucks. Number 2 would go to. I have the ideas. I just don't know where to put each one. I want to give number 2 to um, the Elite versus the Dark Order. Really love that match. Number 3, Anarchy in the Arena. It's so good. I love it so much. And I don't know if it's like, maybe I shouldn't count it here, but it's just so good. FTR Young Bucks. See, the match is better, but 2 has the crowd.
I was at 2. I was in the crowd. So you're welcome.
You lucky bitch. I'm gonna go with. It's hard because I mean, obviously the Bucks win in the first one, but I actually prefer the second one, like as a match.
I
Even
prefer
if
the second one.
yeah, so that one, and then I don't know, I've got something in here. Let me think. Oh God, there's so many matches. There's so many good matches. This is hard. I already got 3 different form of tag title matches on this. That's insane.
Oh, I got one. I got mine. If you're thinking, I can take
Yeah.
over. So I was between 2. I'm gonna go with CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
So fucking good. So fucking good.
That match is world class. That
fucking
match
good.
was the epitome of how good CM Punk and Eddie Kingston both are as professional wrestlers.
Yeah, that's fair. If I wasn't currently
If you weren't,
protesting CM Punk,
you're
I'd probably
protesting
put
CM
that in
Punk.
there.
So you can't be fair. I get it.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Some might put Hangman and Danielson in there, one of their few matches. I'm sure. Maybe their second one.
I was
Perhaps
scared for a second that I didn't put Omega Danielson, but I'm pretty sure I didn't.
you did it.
I thought I did. Then Omega Danielson. I thought he said that one.
There you go. There you
Omega
go. I
Danielson.
did say it.
I'd move it to number 2 and put the Dark Order Elite at 3. I thought I said it because I was thinking it. So yeah, that's my top 5. It's from 5 to 1. So no, I can't remember that. So from 1 to 5, it's the Elite Revolution tag match. Omega Danielson, Young Bucks, no, Anarchy in the Arena, Young Bucks, FTR2, and what was my? Why does this keep happening to me? Oh, so I forgot it again. I just had it in. I need to write these things down.
All right, I'll say mine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 was CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. 4 was Omega Danielson. 3 was Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. 2 was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. And number 1 was Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes.
I can't lie to you. I cannot remember what my 5th match or my 4th
Okay.
match
It must
was.
have not been good.
This is not true.
It was Anarchy in the Arena.
I said it. It was my 3rd one. It says,
You said Anarchy, Elite, Kenny and Danielson, the one that we named last. Oh shit! I have no idea. Anyways, we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
It is
Sorry, folks.
almost...
You could go backwards if you want to hear what he said.
Oh, this is a long question. Fuck. For every AEW championship, pick the best reign of that title's history. You can leave it out to TBS and trios. Okay.
No matter what, we're wrapping up with this show. This is the last question, no matter what. What was the other question? Do we have one more?
Yeah, we have one more.
Say that one first, and we'll wrap up with that.
What would you guys think about Takeshita winning the All Atlantic title and just taking it and defend it literally everywhere he possibly can? Indies, Japan, Europe. I say do it. It's quite literally what I want to happen.
Cook. That's exactly what I want to happen.
It's something that we have talked about many a times because that's the way to go. Give Takeshita everything.
Best champion for every title?
Yeah. It says you can leave out TBS and trios. I'm not leaving out trios, though.
So trios is obviously the Elite. TBS is Jade by default. All Atlantic is Pac because I said so. I don't really love Orange. I haven't liked Orange Cassidy's reign all that much.
I think he's had a better reign than Pac. I also thought Pac just did nothing for his reign. Well, he had a
Pac actually traveled though, so he did the one thing I wanted the title to do. So that alone was enough for me.
And he wrestled Shota Umino, and I really liked that match.
Oh yeah, he did. That's true. That was before Shooter was Shooter though. Roughneck. Tag champs has to be the Bucks.
Has to be the Bucks.
I don't even know who else it would be. Hangman and Omega, maybe, in terms of matches. Yeah, that was Lucha Bros' reign was unfortunately not as good as it should have been. So I'd go with that first Bucks reign.
You know what's a great match from that first Bucks reign? Double or Nothing opener against Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. Fucking amazing.
Yeah. TNT. I need to wait for Darby's reign to end because I think he's on his way. But you're gonna hate me again. I think it's Cody's first reign. I think that really set the tone for the title. It made the title important. It added prestige to the title. The open challenge every week was actually something exciting during the pandemic era, which was really tough for me personally. I didn't necessarily love it. I didn't love everything in pandemic era wrestling anyways, especially here in the States. It was extra hard. So I would go with Cody. Obviously, I wish Brody Lee's reign was longer. Brody. I didn't like Miro's. Darby's first reign, I don't remember too much. Sammy Guevara ruined the belt. Scorpio Sky didn't do very good with the belt. um, and then Wardlow was bad, and Joe didn't have it long enough. Joe didn't have it long enough. That's the only reason I'm not giving it to Joe. Truthfully,
I'm giving it to Joe.
All right, that's fine.
No,
And then Darby's on him. He's having one hell of a reign, but it's not over yet. So I'm gonna go.
He's probably there.
I think the top three are Cody, Darby, and Joe in any order you prefer.
No, I'm gonna go with Joe because I don't like Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes' title reign did give me Eddie Kingston. It gave me Eddie Kingston, and for that I'm grateful.
And Ricky Starks.
That as well.
I just want.
But we were probably always gonna get him because he's a nightmare of a family child, isn't he?
That's also true. Yeah, well, no, he wasn't. He didn't learn there. He's just a big Cody guy.
He would have probably got him there eventually. But Eddie was so good.
World champ, right? I gotta do world champ.
Women's world champ and world champ.
Women's world champ.
Women's world champ, yeah.
I guess Hikaru by default, but I'm gonna confidently say it's Jamie Hayter already because I feel like when Hikaru was champion, unfortunately, it didn't have the meaning it should have. I think at least Jamie now has the meaning, and she's going to have the best reign. She already has the best AEW women's match to her name. That's not a plunder match, so I'll say that. Sure. And then world champ, AEW world. Oh Jesus, not Jericho.
Not Punk.
Definitely not Punk. It can't be Punk. It legitimately can't be Punk. I don't know because Moxley's first reign wasn't obviously as good because in the COVID era.
It did have good matches though.
It did have good matches, of course. Yeah. Had the Brody Lee one, had the Eddie Kingston one.
It had one of my favorite moments from like the first year of AEW, which is when like the first Dynamite after he wins the title. And he comes out and like it's that love that moment.
It might just have to be Moxley by default. He is the greatest AEW World Champion. I don't know if it's the greatest reign though. Kenny had a good one, but Kenny's frustrated me because there was that Double or Nothing show that they just put him, Pac, and Orange Cassidy together, and I was like, what are we doing? I didn't love the fireworks match with Moxley. That was bad.
Okay. Please let me cook. The Double or Nothing match I thought was good. I just thought he deserved.
It was a good match.
Sure. I think he deserved better in terms of like build and like having a structure. But I love that match. Sure. The Revolution match. Let me cook was so good up until the ending. And I know that's the thing that everyone's gonna take away from it. I get it. I completely understand. But oh my god.
I get that.
If I can just delete that from my mind when I watch it, which I do.
So I can't delete it, sadly. So sorry. And then Hangman, no, sadly. Though he had some great matches. He had great matches. Yeah. He might have the best match start to finishes.
I think honestly,
it's Moxley's maybe Moxley's second run. Yeah, the interim. If we count the interim reign, I'd say that was phenomenal. So the interim title reign that technically didn't count.
I mean, it's on the AEW site, I think, the last I checked, but it says interim, like it doesn't say official.
Dumb.
But I could also just say Mox's second AEW world title reign because he had one of my favorite squash matches in wrestling history.
I'll probably just give Moxley's first by default, honestly. I think everything else is too short or not a real reign.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to give mine to Mox's second reign with the idea of it also kind of being the interim reign. Is it cheating? Yeah, sure. But
I just want to point out that MJF is a whopping 5 days away from beating Jon Moxley's last two reigns. Because the interim doesn't count.
Oh.
Actually, no, he is about to beat the interim reign. He's at 54 plus days, which is crazy.
Damn. He's done like 2 things of substance.
Yeah, pretty much nothing.
Pretty much nothing.
So John Moxley's first reign by default. It's my winner because it actually was a reign.
It's fair.
I liked it better than Kenny's. Actually, I won't say Hangman's, but it's pretty close.
Hangman's is really good. I loved Hangman's reign.
Yeah.
I was so sad when it ended. I was like so pro Hangman winning that match.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's
all right, wrap this up. All right, I'm wrapping this up. We're 2 hours, 15 minutes. We're done.
Jesus Christ.
I have to edit this, put it up, and go to bed. I was supposed to be doing another recording right now, so this is kind of why it got extended. But thank you, everybody, for listening. This was the All Elite Cast here on the 5-Star Network. If you want to follow 6-Star on Twitter, it's at 6stardom. You can point as much as you want. No one can see that.
Bull. What am I doing?
Actually, I might upload this to YouTube, but I don't know yet. And then if you want to follow me at Scott E Wrestling, but if you're not following me, then I don't know what you're doing. Make sure you follow the network at 5-Star Network. Very simple. The website will be publishing within the next week or two, so keep an eye out for that. Very exciting. Articles on the way. We already have some built up, ready to publish. It's just a matter of me being happy with everything, which never happens. But nonetheless, thank you for listening, everybody.
Wait, real quick. Make sure to check out Scott's article on the Wrestle Purists site about Takeshita. It's really good.
Yes,
it's great.
Please check that. I never go to my old content after a while. I just give up on it. So yeah, you can check that out. But this was the All Elite Cast here on the 5-Star Network. So long, farewell. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.